400 runners in all from the state of Wisconsin were participating in the marathon.
And as we mentioned, 200 of them are from our part of the state, most of them from Milwaukee and Waukesha counties.
And our Tom Murray is in Boston. He managed to talk with some of the runners who finished right before the blast.
So much of downtown Boston remains closed off this morning, making it a real challenge for people who are trying to get downtown for work. In fact, this is about as close as we can get with our camera to the blast site. You can see emergency workers about a block away from where I'm standing right now. A Marquette professor was very close to that deafening blast.
All of a sudden, bam! It sounded loud like a cannon going off. Turned around, saw smoke sort of billowing up.
The head of Marquette University's mathematics department crossed the finish line just moments before the blast.
This was my 9th Boston Marathon, and at the start, this was the first time there was an older woman came over and said, "Could I pray for you?" Literally. And this was the first time in 9 Boston Marathons, and I'm at a Catholic Jesuit institution, and she prays for my safety.
And you made it.
And I made it. I was lucky.
Professor Gary Krenz says another runner urged him to pick up the pace in the final stretch. If you had been a slightly different place a few moments earlier or later, that you would have been much closer to the blast?
If I hadn't started running, because I was walking because I had bad cramps, if I hadn't been running, I probably would have been beside the second or first blast.
So many runners from Wisconsin taking part in the Boston Marathon, a closely knit community, and we know they've been connecting by Facebook and by Twitter, trying to account for each other. You'll hear from more of the Wisconsin participants in the Boston Marathon coming up at 6:30. For now, in Boston, Tom Murray, today's TMJ4.